Hello everybody, it's your boy N here, coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So Dier, what's the consensus on her mobbing? So let's get right on into it. Now starting off with Dier's mobbing setup. Now a lot of people have been going back and forth with this and Dier is still very fresh. There is a lot that still needs to be discovered, but I'm going to give you at least what I like to run with her so far, because I think this is a fairly solid and honestly a very fun setup. So mid-air maneuvering, of course, is going to be our first thing. For the red mod, we will be using blooming ecstasy, which allows us to deal AoE explosions and stuff like that to the mobs, so that is going to be our first kick. So with Dier, we want to be focusing on ability spam and a little bit of a duration kick, which is going to be the main thing with Dier. So with Dier, we are going to first start off with cooldown as we always do. For this, we'll go MP conversion as well as nimble fingers. Then we will also go with focus on chill and also focus on fusion. Main reason for this is if we double check, her fourth ability is fusion and her first ability is also fusion. Her third ability is fusion too, but that's not going to be the main thing over here, so that's why we are going with the fusion setup. So that's going to be our main thing. Now if we do look at Dier's passive, you can see that her crit rate scales based off her health with a maximum of 45%, so this is going to be something we are taking advantage of. Now with Dier, we only need one health mod and a sword to reach 100% crit rate. However, I feel like with the duration you get on Dier, you don't need an insane amount. The more, the better of course, but the way her third ability works is when you push this out, it will basically keep trailing and pushing forward, and it can be a little bit annoying and a little bit awkward to play around. So for this reason, I go with Battle of Stamina. There is obviously other ways to do this, but I'm going with Battle of Stamina for that very little 8.8%, and the health is also a nice touch as well. Then for Dier, we are obviously going to make her a crit descendant, so we're going to finish this off with crit mods. We go with crit damage, so we go with emergency measures, front lines, and skill concentration. And then just to wrap Dier up, we go with one range mod being skill expansion. Now I know you might be wondering why only one range mod, but don't worry, we'll be coming back to it. So with this setup with Dier, that's pretty much the mods that you are going to need. Now for the trigger mod, you've got two options. Number one is Icebreaker, which is a DPS mod, which does work well on elites, tyrants, commanders, and colossi. So this does work well in this dungeon and stuff like that. And then you've also got Power Beyond as well, which in this instance I went with Power Beyond because of personal preference, but it does work just as well, if not better, with Icebreaker as well. So honestly, Icebreaker is another valid option. It's just whichever one you prefer. If you've got Icebreaker, slap this one on, because obviously when using Frostbite with skills, this is going to do more damage. And then when you use Power Beyond is going to Power Beyond and do more damage as well. So this is another nice way to go. So let's just slap Icebreaker on. So now that we've got Dier's build out of the way, let's have a look at the external components and the reactor. For the reactor with Dier, it's going to be a fusion chill reactor with cooldown and crit damage. Non-negotiable, you want these exact stats. As for the weapon, we are going to be going with the Shadow. Now the Shadow is my choice of weapon. You can slap any element on your Shadow, it doesn't matter. You can choose literally any element, but in this instance I've just gone with the Toxic Shadow, so that's what we've got over here. Now for the external components with Dier. For the external components, it's going to be the Polar Knight set. Thank you so much for the Red Dragon. Oh my god, you caught me in the middle of a video. You caught me in the middle of a video. Thank you though, Dragon. I really appreciate it. So for her actual stats on her external components, you're going to want max HP, fire resistance. You don't really need max MP, so HP recovery modifier and chill resistance would be better. You don't need MP recovery modifier, but defense and electric resistance would be good. And then max shield and shield recovery modifier or toxic resistance would also be good as well. So yeah, that's what you're going to want. For her cores, you're going to want max HP and defense across them all. I have fire resistance on 3 of these because I was messing around and testing with the Infernal Walker, so don't worry about that. Yeah, you're going to want max HP and defense across every single one of these. That's pretty much everything you are going to need for this part of the build. Next up, let's have a look at the Arche tuning tree. Now, with the Arche tuning tree, it's fairly simplistic, so let's have a quick look at it. We're going to go to the right, we're going to go down, and we are going to go straight up for damage. Then we're going to go straight all the way up for cooldown. Cooldown, our best friend, is going to allow us to go crazy with skill spamming, which is something that we are going to be going with. Arche concentration will allow us to get crit rate and damage, crit damage increase, which is what we want for more DPS. And I've got to go, I have finals, I've got to study tech. Goodbye friends, good luck with the finals and good luck with studying dragon. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day / night. Okay, where was I? Yeah. We're going to get a touch of crit rate because, like I said, with the sword, we're going to optimize this into just about pushing into the perfect amount of rate for this setup. Now, with the rest of this, let's have a quick look at the weapons. So, for the weapons, you are going to want to just have the shadow. With the shadow, I've gone with a multi-hit setup, and with this, I've gone Legion of Breach as well as Toxic on here. For my mods, this is what I have. You could also use Armor Tank if you want more speed. You can use Slaughterer, I believe it is, if you want more DPS instead of Toxic Conductor, so on and so forth. But this is just what I like to run with the Shadow, specifically with this weapon. Now, for the inversions, with Dier, you are going to want these three. Clash Inversion is a very important one because this gives range and it also gives crit damage up to 5 stacks when using a clash type skill, which is Dier's first ability. Next up, you are also going to want to go in with the blade damage, so this is going to be for your sword as well. This is crit damage, meaning you can use it with Hypernova, but overall just melee damage modifier is good for even the shadow. And then the last one is just going to be a little bit of additional range. Whenever you kill a mob, you get some extra range. That's going to be nice and easy. Of course, you're going to want to have all of these maxed out for additional damage as well. Damage reduction and health recovery, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much everything you're going to want with Dier, at least in the next segment. Now, for the next part of this video, it's going to be the Ancestor mod. Now, when I recorded the gameplay, I was not using an Ancestor mod, so just to throw it into reference, Ancestor mods can definitely make this better for you guys. So, for Ancestor mods with Dier, you are going to want cooldown, crit damage, and duration up is the 3 stats that I would go with. In terms of the build, I would use this to replace a focus on module, and this also gives additional crit damage as well, so this is going to be a nice kick of DPS. The cooldown will allow you to reach cooldown cap, which is going to be something that's very important for ability spamming, and then a little bit of duration on here would allow your duration to go all the way up. You could go with more damage with fusion and stuff like that for your abilities. This is also a good option, but I think the duration is a nicer touch. With this over here, you can see my duration avalanche is only 6.5 seconds, which isn't crazy, and the duration on the second ability is only 5.4, which again is not too crazy. So you do end up having to spam your second ability a lot, so more duration would help with that. You can also, if you get a little bit of crit rate on your Ancestor, replace a health mod, but that bit is optional. Now with the tree, because we have got cooldown on there, we can just go and replace this for crit damage, and there you go, boom, extra damage whilst maintaining a 100% crit rate once we grab onto the shadow. There you go, boom. Really nice looking stats. We've lost out the crit rate, we've lost out on the cooldown, so you can go that way on the tree as well if you want to have your minimum. It's at 96 then, but it's not too much of it. It's at 96 then, but it's not too much of a hindrance because even 96 is basically 100% crits in this game at this point anyways. So there is definitely a little bit of a back and forth as to what you can do with this setup. Now, with Dier, at least with this, let's go on over the gameplay loop real quick. So, with the gameplay loop for her, you are going to want to follow something like this. You are going to want to make sure you do use her first ability, because this is going to activate Polar Knight, as well as give the clash skill that you want to be using inside of this over here. Once you do this, once you do this fully, and you build your second bar up, you're going to want to use your second bar. So if I was to quickly just expand on my Dier bars or something like that, let's do that, get rid of it one more time. Give me a sec. Oh wait, that doesn't work. Right, never mind. Right, let's do this again. You'd use her first ability to build up her clash. Once you can build her second ability up, you will turn her second ability on for your crit damage buff. Then you use her third ability to group, and then when you want to, you throw her fourth ability into there, doing ridiculous damage to everything inside of the bubble. Nice and easy. Now, what are your other alternatives? Because you may not always have your fourth ability. That's another valid option too. So what would you do with that? You'd grab your 1, you'd build up your stacks, you'd go in with the 2, you'd activate your 3, and then you just go straight in with the shadow to go a one shot and annihilate everything with the 4. With the way that Dier's ability plays, it's very natural, and it does also flow incredibly well. The moment you do her 1 into her 2 into her 3, and then just go straight in with the shadow, you have time to hold it and charge it, and you will basically just go straight into all of the mobs and absolutely annihilate them. This does work everywhere, and like I said in the gameplay I'm about to show you, I was not using an Ancestor mod either. So now let me actually show you the Dier gameplay, and then we can go into looking at how I played. Like I said, I'm still not 100% used to playing Dier in here, so forgive me and cut your boy a little bit of slack if I did throw the run. So let's go with this gameplay once it decides to load its ass up. Please load and hurry up, because it's really awkward when I have to sit here and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Okay, there you go. So now let's go over the Dier gameplay. So with this Dier gameplay, this is what you want to do. You want to focus on building your first ability up, like I said. Go straight in, second ability onto the buff, third ability for the mobs, give it a second, shadow straight in, one shot everything. Like I said, this is what can be a little bit awkward with the duration on it, and you kind of have to adjust and go the way that you want to with this as well. You can see this as well. I decided to use the shadow to one shot the ships to make this a little bit faster, and even with this dungeon you do want to make sure you're using your 1, so on and so forth. Again, I decided to use my 1 to one-shot that, and then turn around and use the shadow to one-shot that. The one really nice thing about the shadow is that this will just constantly suck mobs in, and then you can just use this to, well, basically use the sword to finish everything off. And because Dier is melee Descendant heavy, she does get a buff when you do hold the shadow, so it does work out very well synergistic wise at least. And even with this in general, you can go absolutely nuts with the way that the sword plays in here specifically. I really do like the way that the sword plays, just because you can see in general, when you do pop it, 1, 2, 3, it goes all in, throw the fourth ability down, and it just annihilates everything. The only thing, like I said, I wish I did have in this gameplay was my Ancestor mod on there, which I didn't have until after, which I'm kind of regretting. But just in general, you can see the main gameplay loop of Dier here. She's definitely not the fastest Descendant in the game. You won't be winning any speedrunning medals with Dier, at least not compared to a Freyna or a Ines or a Bunny or a Serena or Freyna or Nell or whoever else. But Nell and Serena, Bunny, and all these other Descendants, they don't have the same playstyle as Dier. And honestly, I really do like the playstyle. It's not the fastest in the game, but it's still a very practical and honestly a fun playstyle when you kind of want to get away with it. So I do think that just in general, playing her this way does work out, and it's kind of just more so about learning where to position yourself with your third ability, and then where to slam your fourth ability, so on and so forth. Because you can see, when you do this correctly, Dier will mob decently well, and then she will absolutely pile drive the room. If you do end up hitting the right spots, she can be a little bit better as well. With the mini bosses in this dungeon, as an example, I was using the shadow. It would probably be a little bit faster with the Deus in this instance as well. So yeah, that's the thing too. And you can see here, I waited till the end, used the shadow to pile drive all 46, 40, 50 odd mobs of theirs, using the first ability, because the first ability is going to give you additional range, and this is where I decided to use my 4, use my 1 to pile drive, get these again, keep proccing the Polar Knight for additional damage. It's kind of just focusing on the maintaining your DPS loop as well as going through with this. Like I said, it's not even been 10 hours, and I don't think I'm doing too bad, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. So you can see the way that Nell plays in general. Nell, Dier, I need to sleep. But my subathon's going on, and I don't think I'm going to have freedom for a while because I have to stream for 100 hours. But you can see here, again with Pat and Elias, I just used the sword. I did say that the Deus might be a faster option. It very well could be, and if you do also use your abilities, this could be faster. Like I said, in this gameplay, I wasn't using my Ancestor mod, and I also wasn't using Icebreaker in this gameplay either. This is when I was running a little bit of testing with Power Beyond as well, so again, there was more damage to be had. But all in all, this does show how to play Dier, and honestly, I really do enjoy the setup. I think it's practical. 18k HP is a lot. You're going to see me playing like an absolute donkey right now because I've been live for how long? 11.5 hours, but don't worry. The main thing is you play it basically the same. You use her 1 to build her 2 up, throw her 3 down, or at least throw her 4 down. Onto the boss is ideal, and then you basically just shadow dash everywhere and hit the boss with the sword, and you should be good into melting him. A good, honestly, solid option. Is it going to be perfect? Well, depends on your aim. But all in all, this is what you'd expect with Dier. And honestly, if you optimize your spawns, your runs, and so on and so forth, you can probably hit like a 3.5 minute run, if not even faster in here. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. And if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant. And, yeah, I will see you guys in the next one after I quickly defeat the Sacrophage and boom. Let's have a look at the time that it took me to this dungeon. 4 minutes 40 seconds. Like I said, not the fastest, not the slowest time ever, but a decent time all in all. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Smash that like button and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.